killed. And she walks up and she's like, the last time I saw you, you were eating a box of Kraft mac and cheese out of the pot in my back seat with a PBR. And I just had this moment of like, these are like wealthy people. Yeah. I went there to meet my girlfriend's family, and I was eating blue box mac and cheese out of a pot with a PBR.
The last time I saw you was when a motion sensor light went off on the side of our house, and you were digging through our trash looking for food. She made you sound like a human raccoon.
I couldn't sleep. I'm like, what a fucking...
Listen, but it took me working in radio, like working at KFMA, for older women that were like
to sit on the speaker.
Yeah, that really is what it took, though. It took older women going like, "Hey, I'd fuck you," and you go, "Me?
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me so hard."
Well, last night, Sarah and I was laying in bed and we were having a good laugh, and I'm also ashamed. So, I've reconnected with my ex-girlfriend from Cherry Hills.
Cherry Creek High School.
Cherry Creek High. Cherry Hills is the neighborhood.
That's where she lived, where Elway. That was where Elway lived. If you grew up in Denver, Cherry Hills was where all the famous people lived.
Well, I mean, there's two stories. I told one on the regs. When I showed her a house in Whitman, I was like, you want to see the biggest house you ever saw? It's very charming. I took her to like shitty used car capital of America. Like, look at this house right here.
Can I admit something publicly for the first time of why I disliked your girlfriend so much?
Yeah.
Wasn't at all her personality. She was very fun. She was like, we'd hang out. She was great to hang out with.
Yeah.
I was always mad because when I found out she went to Cherry Creek, I was like, oh, I grew up in Aurora. I went to Smoky Hill. And she confirmed that where I grew up was not nice.
Yeah, well,
she went, oh yeah, I would never go there, and I was like, well then, fuck you. And
well, that's a rude thing to say.
It was as matter of fact. We were at the bar that night. You met her at Caroline's, and she was like, I would never go to that part of like Aurora, and I was like, all right, well, fuck you then.
Yeah,
and then
you hated her.
I carried.
You
that
were like,
around.
you gotta get rid of this woman. And I was like, this is the love of my life.
I carried that around a lot, and she was nothing but sweet to me after that.
Perfectly nice lady. Well, so I just was in Denver, where she's from, did the Comedy Works, best club fucking ever.
That room.
It was insane.
That room, you go, you're faking it.
That's what it felt like. I did Mothership and Comedy Works back to back. I'm like, I'm Richard Pryor. Build a fucking statue. This is crazy.
Comedy Works in Madison is you go like, hey, so do you guys think that I just am the best to ever touch a mic? Or
it's crazy. I mean, Denver Comedy Works and then we added a show Sunday, which we shouldn't we did 5 sold out best shows of my life. We added a Sunday, and you could just feel it just wasn't my people. Like, I came out and they were like, they're like, woo. The other shows, they were like, oh my God.
They're on the side of the stage trying to touch you.
I'm like, don't add shows.
Don't add shows. But also doing Comedy Works and then going, one time I did Comedy Works and then I did out to like Long Island and did like Brokerage. And I was like, oh, I'm back to earth.
Yeah, yeah.
You go do a tough club and you're like,
yeah, I got Soul Jolt. That's usually hotter than fucking Haiti. That thing's amazing.
Yeah.
I got Stress Factory coming up, so that'll
be fine. What?
Okay. All right. I went to Alan, sorry.
Dude, I saw Big A this morning. I was fucking rocking off a session. So you're in bed with Sarah.
Yeah. So
and you're feeling guilt, but you're having a laugh.
No, shame. Not even guilt. So Becca, I've reconnected with my ex-girlfriend, and she lives in Cleveland now. And so her brother, who's a big fan of mine.
Who's the one that reconnected you guys, right?
No, I bumped into her in yoga. Remember in Cleveland?
Oh, yeah.
I told you that story, right?
Oh, yeah.
I walked into a random yoga class. No one believes me online. Everyone's like, there's fucking no way, this creepy piece of shit. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I was in Cleveland, took a yoga class that she was teaching. She lives in yoga. She married a doctor who works at the Cleveland. She lives in yoga. She lives in Cleveland. And she married
a doctor.
What a
life, though. Good for her.
Oh, yeah.
Marry a doctor and she keeps her pliability?
Well, frankly, I make doctor money. So she could have...
Yeah, but you're
maybe
gone
not
all
quite
the time.
Doctor money, but no, I'm not. I'm home all the time. He's doing surgery all the time. I'm a stay-at-home dad, baby. I am with my son more than any father's ever been with their son.
Well, also you have a son, so that's also...
Yeah, I'm home. The only time I'm not home is when I'm right here. I'm going to shoot back to him.
I like when guys take their current family as models of why they'd be good in their second family. Well, you go, see if I ever leave...
Cut it out. No, my point is, it's like, I do okay.
Yeah, you're a good dad.
So all the way back to this story. So her mother came to the show, and then her neighbors, who are like family friend neighbor, those kind of people.
And this is in Denver.
In Denver. This is like 3 days ago. And the neighbor lady walks up after the show, and I fucking killed. And she walks up and she's like, the last time I saw you, you were eating a box of Kraft mac and cheese out of the pot in my back seat with a PBR. And I just had this moment of like, Oh, these are like wealthy people.
Yeah.
I went there to
last-
meet my girlfriend's family, and I was eating blue box mac and cheese out of a pot with a PBR.
The last time I saw you was when a motion sensor light went off on the side of our house, and you were digging through our trash looking for food. She made you sound like a human raccoon.
I couldn't sleep. I'm like, what a fucking moron. And then I'm like, my parents did such a disservice to me. Because I should have brought flowers. Like, they had a family dinner that I didn't eat. Because I was like, no, I brought my own dinner.
That's really
and
funny.
Boiled and cooked mac and cheese. Like, just the biggest piece of white trash, piece of shit.
You did show up demonstrating hobo law. Where you go, you never come inside and eat someone else's food. You always have to have a belly full of food if you go in a warm place.
And it's awful. And I'm like, I'm so ashamed. It's 20 years ago, and I'm married with a child.
Did you laugh it off in the moment?
I was like, oh my God, yeah. I mean, I laughed and I was like, I'm so sorry. She's like, oh my God, it's hilarious. And it's funny because, well, now she's married to like a lung surgeon, so it's hilarious. But at the time, they must have been like,
worried about her.
I must have left, and they must have been like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. Call him right now and tell him he can't come back here.
I just just picturing her dad sitting on the edge of her bed while she's in bed that night at home at her parents' house, and he goes, what did I do wrong? She goes, what? Joe's fun. He goes, was it when I missed the recital in 8th grade?
I think I had.
Really?
Yeah, it was a weird time. And also, it wasn't technically or officially a commercial. It was a promotion.
So
because
it was
for ESPN and only aired on ESPN. And my manager at the time, that fucking pimple, great guy, he was like, oh man, he's like, I'm doing the math. This is going to be huge. And I was, of course, we were totally drinking, broke.
Dude, I completely... Can I just tell you?
Please.
From my perspective, I'm sorry to interrupt. I know I'm going to hate myself for later, but I remember being at a bar with you when you got it. And it's before it settled how much money you were actually getting. And you were like, dude, they play this and then they play it all the time. I could be sitting on $100,000. Well,
that's what he said. He said something like that. And I was like, this is nuts. Like,
we were doing it like, Mortimer, we're back.
Well, it's like Goodfellas. You're like, motherfucker, we got him now. It was like we were all being made.
Yeah, it really is how it felt.
And it was only like 2 weeks later that he's like, okay, so it actually was a promotion. So it was a one-time. I made $1,000.
Yeah.
Which, if at that time, if someone said like, we're gonna fly you to North Carolina and give you $1,000, I would have shit ice cream for a month. Yeah. But because he was like, you're going to make 6 figures, I was like, this is the most devastating thing that's ever happened.
It's where when you play a game with somebody, it's the age-old thing where you go guess a number and someone goes way too high. And you go, well, now you've blown the thing.
I just had that. I do a bit about how long Green Eggs and Ham is, the book.
Oh, I love that bit.
And thanks. And I'm like, I can take a guess how long. And then some guy just yelled from the back. It wasn't even the person I was asking. And he just said the number. And I was like, well, you fucked up my whole, I'm talking to him.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
You blew it.
Yeah, I saw you do it at Sesh, and someone went with the number way too high, and you were like, it does feel like that. Yeah. Like, I watched you do the thing, and
you had to do like a...
Yeah, where you go, oh, well, okay, I'm going to adapt to it. But when someone goes like, guess how much they paid him? $500 million? You go, 40,000, Jesus.
Yeah.
You make me feel like a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, you blew it.
Yeah. But I remember that, dude. You getting the Captain Morgans. Well, the Captain Morgans commercial.
Well, that one did. I made like 40 grand off of him, something like that.
They also... If you don't remember, they told you this was the first of many, that you guys were going to be the 4 guys.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a thing. Yeah.
And didn't you celebrate with the other guys? Weren't you like, look at us, we're in a band, we're in a boy band? Well,
I don't remember that. But another crazy thing about that, by the way, the bartender in that commercial just happened to be dating, I only found this out recently, my now best friend, Karen Feehan.
What?
Isn't that crazy? What are the chances of that?
At that time?
At that time, she was dating him, and he was like, I did this Captain Morgan commercial.
Hey, where he pushes over the things and then you guys all stand like Captain Morgan. Because that's how you guys get in.
Isn't that
You
wild?
do the fake posters.
We made a poster, which I still have some of those posters. And the other thing about that was the first audition I ever did in my life.
Yeah.
And I got it. And evidently, that's not a thing you're supposed to say on set. I was like, I've never even done this. People were like enraged. These guys are like, what? And I was like, first audition.
Yeah, look at that. Look how little he looks, dude.
That girl was really hot.
Yeah. Look at you in the back.
I'm peeking in. I think I overdid it with the eyebrow.
I love it. Oh, you guys hit the pose.
I got to do the thing. I also did it in the first take, and he was like, that was the best take we've ever had or something.
Did you guys have to practice the choreography of all you guys doing at the same time, or did you do it separately and they lined it up?
We did it separately.
Okay.
But also, Captain Morgan was my drink, which was amazing.
I remember.
And so I had done that a million times, the fucking thing. So I had already rehearsed.
Well, the reason I remember doing that was I used to have an argument with you when we were very very little and friends, and we would be drinking,
Boy.
I wouldn't touch Captain Morgan's because I got sick off it at Arizona, at the University of Arizona. And you were like, you would insist the only way through the storm when going through hell is to keep going.
Like a buffalo.
Yeah, and you would go, get a Captain Morgan's. And I'd be like, Joe, I don't think you understand. I could still smell at the time. I was like, the smell of it makes me want to throw up. And you were like, get this guy a Captain and Coke. And I was like, please don't do that. And I remember like having to tell you like, Joe, I can't do it.
Boy, you have great memories of
I used to
back
love
then.
it. I used to love, I mean, you know why? Moving to New York City, and this is why I say when anybody loves something and they start doing it, go be completely surrounded by it,
Right.
even if it really sucks. Because in hindsight, the being surrounded by it helped me get over the sucky part.
Right.
Because we were just out every night. What I loved about it was me be out there in the West Village barking.
Right.
And then I learned the secret was if I stood in the front, I could hang out with you. I could put my beer right inside that
Right.
door, and I could just smoke cigarettes. And then also didn't really feel like barking. And then people would come by and they'd go, hey, come see a comedy show. Technically, I was barking.
Right.
So that was my workaround. But dude, the lady that booked the show would always talk about doing stand-up, but she never did it. And then these shows were brutal. And finally, one Monday night, it's like
Oh, man. Yeah, I forgot.
2 o'clock. It's like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. All that is left in the audience are 3 New York firefighters, FDNY. And they're up there. And she's drunk. And she's like wine drunk. And she's like, I'm going to go on stage. And Joe's hosting. And Joe's like, okay. I remember this specifically. I was outside smoking a cigarette. And Joe, you came out and you go, so she's going to go up. And I was like,
I don't know how you remember this shit.
because this is one of my favorite memories. And I went, what? And you were like, I'm about to bring her up. I'm not going to say her name. We're going to keep the name out. And I was like, well, I got it. Because the way she would talk to me about comedy, you would think she had 6 HBO specials.
Right.
So I was like, let's go. I'm so excited to finally watch her do stand-up. And I know she's drunk because I was at the Bag It In drinking with her half the time in between barking. So I go on stage, and again, it's 3 firefighters, FDNY. She gets on stage, she sits down with her wine, and she grabs the mic, and she goes, are you guys firefighters? And they go, and she goes, do you know 9/11 was an inside job? And you hear them go, like that. And Joe and I are by the door where the lights and the music are, and there was a back stairwell that would go to the bar that was under it. And Joe looks at me and goes, when I count to 3, you hit play on the stereo, I'll get the lights. And he goes, 1, 2, 3. And she's on stage going, anyways, 9/11, you can tell that the government did it. And then he turns on the light and I hit play and it was Black Dog by Zeppelin. And it goes, hey, mama, say the way you move, go make you dance, go make you groove. And Joe and I go down the stairs to the bar. We get a beer and get a fucking empty beer and we split it. Because that Irish guy, that boxer was the bartender.
Yeah. Yes.
Terry from Derry. And I was like, dude, can we get a beer? And we split it. And we're sitting there. Dude, people from that work at the club, like 10 minutes later are coming in going, did you guys hear about that shit? Someone turned the lights off and turned the stereo on her. And we were like, what? I just said that. We were like, whoa, that was crazy. I remember that night. I remember us leaving and going to Astoria and laughing like the entire train ride
That makes me
home.
very proud.
Yeah.
I feel like a patriot.
Dude, we did it.
Yeah,
we were like,
goddamn
fuck
right.
it. You were like, you
I was
hit
like-
play. Because I remember being such a pussy that you were like, just hit play on the stereo. And I was like, and then you fucking dimmed the lights and the lights all went out. Just hearing fucking Robert Plant over that was
That's-
like, because we didn't cut her mic.
Right,
But it
right.
was just Zeppelin over her.
But how did that not come back to us?
Because the show got canceled like 2 weeks later. She stopped working there. Everything fell apart. And we were
Right.
like,